Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some serious Copa del Rey action today.
Semi-final matches, no less.
Oh, yeah, the stakes are high.
Definitely.
We've got Real Sociedad going up against Real Madrid, and then,
Brutal.
yeah,
Hill
a
Fest.
goal fest, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid.
Two very different matches, but both absolutely crucial.
Absolutely. So let's start with Real Sociedad and Real Madrid. I was looking at the final score, 1-0.
Tight match.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly scream thriller, but I hear it was a pretty intense battle.
Oh, it absolutely was. Real Madrid squeezed out a win, but Real Sociedad really made them fight for it.
Oh, wow. So what was the key moment?
Well, it all came down to a single goal. Endrick Felipe, 18 minutes in.
18 minutes, so early on then.
Right off the bat, yeah, and that kind of set the tone for the whole match. Real Sociedad had their chances, though.
Really? I mean, 1-0, it doesn't sound like they had many opportunities.
Well, get this. They actually ended the match with more shots on target than Real Madrid. 7-5.
Wait, hold on. More shots on target, but they still lost. How was that even possible?
That's football for you, isn't it? Sometimes it's not about the quantity of chances, it's the quality. Maybe Real Madrid's goalkeeper had an absolute blinder.
Right. Or maybe Real Sociedad just couldn't find that clinical finish.
Could be. Or maybe, and this is where tactics come in, Real Madrid's defense was just so well organized that Real Sociedad was forced into taking those lower percentage shots.
So it was more about Real Madrid's defense than their attack. Interesting. Anything else in the stats that jumped out at you?
Yeah, the corner kicks, both teams had 8 each.
8 each. So neither team was really able to pin the other back consistently then.
Exactly. It was a real midfield battle for territory.
Okay, but I got to ask about the fouls.
Oh, yeah, there's a big difference there.
Huge. Real Madrid only committed 8 fouls the whole game compared to Real Sociedad's 18.
Now, that's a pretty significant disparity.
It is. So what's the explanation? Was Real Madrid just playing a super disciplined match?
Well, that's one possibility. Or, and this is where it gets interesting, maybe they were being a bit more strategic about it. You know, recognizing that Real Sociedad can be dangerous from set pieces.
So avoiding fouls in key areas to limit those opportunities?
Precisely. It wouldn't be the first time a team has used that kind of tactical approach.
It's clever. I'll give them that. But what does this win say about Real Madrid's overall strengths? Anything new we haven't seen before?
I think it reinforces what we already know. They're resilient. They know how to grind out results even when they're not dominating possession.
It counts.
They absorb pressure, stay organized at the back, and they take their chances when they get them.
Hallmarks of a champion, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let's shift gears now to
Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah. Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. Now this one,
Now, this was a game and a half.
the final score was a 4-4 draw.
Goals galore.
I mean, just looking at that score tells you it was a wild ride. But I need to hear the details. I need the play-by-play to really understand what went down.
All right, strap yourself in. It was back and forth the whole match. Early on, you'd think Atletico had it in the bag.
Oh, they got off to a hot start.
They did. 2 goals right out of the gate. First, Julian Alvarez less than a minute in, and then Antoine Griezmann just minutes later. Barcelona was on their heels.
Wow, that must have been some intense pressure for Barcelona right from the kickoff.
Oh, definitely. But to their credit, they didn't crumble. They weathered that storm.
They didn't just weather it, they answered back.
They did 2 goals of their own to level the score. Pedri first, and then Pau Cubarsí, all within a few minutes of each other. The momentum swings in this match were insane.
So at this point, it's 2-2.
Yep, and the drama's only just beginning.
Oh, I bet. So did either team manage to, break that deadlock?
Well, Barcelona eventually pulled ahead.
Ah, so they did. But then that 4-4 final score, that tells me Atletico came back.
Oh, they did. And talk about dramatic. They got that final equalizer right at the death.
No way, a last-minute goal.
Last minute. The Atletico fans must have been going absolutely nuts.
Can you imagine being there? The tension, the euphoria.
Unbelievable. To snatch a draw like that after being down, it's the kind of moment that just defines a tournament like this.
All right, so we've got the drama, the goals, but what about the actual playing styles? We know Barcelona loves to dominate possession, and they did, 67% of the ball.
Classic Barcelona.
But Atletico Madrid, they still managed to get 7 shots on target out of only 8 shots total. So they were incredibly efficient when they did have the ball.
Oh yeah, this was a classic clash of styles. Barcelona, with their tiki-taka, trying to control the game through passing and movement.
That trademark passing game, yeah.
And Atletico Madrid, much more direct, much more clinical, making the most of every opportunity to attack.
So it's Barcelona's beautiful game, but then Atletico with this ruthless efficiency.
Exactly, two completely different approaches, and on that day, they canceled each other out.
Was this a case of Barcelona being stifled, by Atletico's defense? Or did Atletico actually find ways to exploit weaknesses in that Barcelona system?
It's probably a bit of both. Look, Atletico, under Simeone, they are masters of defensive organization. They probably sat deep, denied Barcelona space, frustrated them.
Yeah, makes sense.
But to score 4 goals, they also had to break through that Barcelona press. Quick transitions, exploiting any gaps when Barcelona pushed forward.
So we're seeing two sides of the tactical coin here.
Absolutely. And that's what makes analyzing a match like this so fascinating. You're not just watching what happens, you're trying to understand the how, the why.
You're looking for that chess match underneath the surface.
Exactly. And this draw, it really sets up a tantalizing second leg. Atletico have shown they can hurt Barcelona even without dominating possession. Can Barcelona unlock that defense? Big questions.
This is what the Copa del Rey is all about. The drama, the tactical battles, the unpredictable storylines.
We've seen 2 totally different matches, 2 totally different approaches to the game.
And it'll be fascinating to see how these teams adapt and what happens next.
Absolutely. Buckle up for the second leg. It's going to be a wild ride.
Now, before we move on to the bigger picture here.
The context.
Yeah, the context of these matches. I want to take a step back and just think about what we've learned so far.
About these 2 games?
Yeah, 2 matches, 2 completely different stories, but both filled with excitement and some really interesting questions going forward.
Definitely.
It really highlights
the
tactical diversity of the game.
Absolutely. Different paths to success and the passion. You can't forget the passion.
Yeah, the fans in both these matches, they brought it.
They always do in the Copa del Rey.
It's more than just a tournament. It's an event.
It really is. The history, the tradition, it all comes together.
Now, you mentioned that the Copa del Rey has this special place in Spanish football. What is it about this tournament, compared to others, that makes it so unique?
Well, for one, it's got history. We're talking way back, 1902, oldest football competition in Spain.
Wow, the oldest.
Yep. And over the years, it's become more than just a tournament. It's almost a symbol of national pride.
Ah, I see. So for the teams and the fans, it's about connecting with that long tradition.
Exactly. Winning the Copa del Rey, it's not just about lifting the trophy. It's about writing your name in the history books.
Especially for teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah. For them, a deep run is practically expected.
The pressure must be immense.
It is. Anything less than a win can be seen as a failure.
And that makes you wonder, right? Did that pressure play a role in Barcelona's draw against Atletico? I mean, it's not a loss.
Right.
But giving up a 2-goal lead, that's got to sting, even if it's just the first leg.
It's hard to say for sure, but psychology definitely plays a role in football. That draw could have a knock-on effect. It could impact their confidence going into the second leg.
And then there's the La Liga title race to think about too, right? Both Barcelona and Atletico are still in the running.
Very much so.
So how does this result, this draw, how does that factor into that bigger picture?
Well, the margins at the top of La Liga, they're often so tight. Even a slight shift in momentum, a boost in confidence for one team, or a dip for another, it can have a huge impact.
It's like these 2 competitions are running parallel to each other, each one influencing the other.
Exactly. It's all connected.
I love that about football.
Me too.
The storylines, they're never isolated, everything's connected, and one result can have these ripple effects throughout the whole season.
Keeps things interesting, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot of ground today, dissecting these 2 Copa del Rey matches.
On every angle.
But as always, there's more to explore,
Always.
more to analyze, more to appreciate about this incredible sport.
That's what we're here for.
And that's what we encourage you to do as well.
Yeah.
Don't just watch the matches. Think about them. Dive into the tactics, the histories, the personalities that make football so compelling.
There's always something new to discover, another layer to uncover.
And that's what the deep dive is all about.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep that passion for the game alive.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back soon for another fascinating journey into the world of sport.
It's a testament to the different ways you can win in football. We saw Real Madrid with their defensive strengths, and then Atletico proving you don't always need to dominate possession to be effective.
Yeah, that efficiency was incredible. But before we get too deep into tactics, I want to rewind a bit and talk about those individual moments, those flashes of
The
brilliance.
goals themselves.
Exactly. I mean, 8 goals in the Barcelona Atletico match. There's got to be some standout plays in there.
Oh, absolutely. You can't forget about Julian Alvarez's open to Porter for Atletico. Less than a minute into the match, what a way to set the tone.
Wow, less than a minute. Talk about a statement.
And then boom, Antoine Griezmann follows up just minutes later to double their lead.
So they're up 2-0. What, 5 minutes in? The pressure on Barcelona must have been immense.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Mm.
But they showed real character coming back like that.
Yeah, 2 goals of their own to level the score. Pedri and then Pau Cubarsí, just like that.
Back and forth like a tennis match.
The momentum swings in this match were insane, and then you've got that late drama.
Oh, that last-minute equalizer. Heart-stopping stuff.
Alexander Surloth, the hero for Atletico. I mean, the emotions in that stadium, I can only imagine.
Joy, despair, all within the span of a few minutes. It's
Yeah.
what makes football so captivating.
It's those moments, the individual brilliance alongside those tactical battles, the whole emotional roller coaster. It's all part of the package.
And it's something that transcends team loyalty, you know what I mean? Even
Okay.
if you're not a fan of either team, you can't help but appreciate the skill, the drama.
Speaking of passion, what was the atmosphere like in these matches? We've talked about the action on the pitch, but the fans, what were they like?
From what I've heard, absolutely electric in both stadiums. The Copa del Rey, it just brings out this special energy.
It's more than just a game, isn't it? It's a cultural event.
It's about the history, the shared experience, creating those memories.
It reminds you that football is more than just a sport. It's a cultural touchstone, something that can bring people together.
Well said. And that passion, you can just feel it in the air, especially during a tournament like this.
Okay, before we go any further, let's just take a moment to recap what we've learned.
About these two matches.
2 matches, 2 very different stories, but both full of those captivating moments that make football what it is.
Two sides of the beautiful game, really.
Yeah, and 2 sets of fans that just add to the intensity of the Copa del Rey.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it holds a special place in Spanish football. What makes it stand out, compared to other tournaments?
Well, it's steeped in history. I mean, we're talking way back to 1902.
1902, wow.
Oldest football competition in Spain. And over the years, it's become more than just a tournament, It's almost a symbol of national pride, a real showcase of Spanish football.
So for the teams, for the fans, it's about being a part of something bigger, something historic.
Exactly. When you win the Copa del Rey, it's not just about the trophy itself. It's about etching your name in the history books, being a part of that legacy.
Especially for clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid, right?
Oh, absolutely. For them, a deep run in the Copa del Rey is almost expected.
The pressure must be incredible.
Oh, it is. I mean, anything less than a victory is seen as a failure.
Which makes you wonder, right? Did that pressure play a role in Barcelona's draw against Atletico?
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't a loss,
true.
but giving up that 2-goal lead, that's got to have some impact, even if it's just the first leg.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure, but you can't deny the psychological aspect of football. That draw, it could affect their confidence going into the second leg.
And then there's the La Liga title race to consider, too. Both Barcelona and Atletico are right up there.
Neck and neck.
So how does this result, this draw in the Copa del Rey, how does it impact that bigger picture?
Well, the margins in La Liga, they're so small, Even a slight change in momentum, a boost for one team, a dip for another, it can have huge repercussions down the line.
It's almost like these 2 competitions, they're running parallel to each other, each one influencing the other.
Exactly, it's all connected.
It's fascinating. The storylines are never isolated in football. One result can have these ripple effects throughout the entire season.
It's what keeps us coming back for more.
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot of ground today. 2 Copa del Rey matches, 2 very different styles, 2 very different outcomes.
But both full of drama, full of intrigue.
And that's what makes this sport so captivating. We encourage everyone to keep exploring, keep digging deeper into the tactics, the histories, the personalities that make football so compelling.
There's always more to learn, another layer to uncover.
And that's what the deep dive is all about. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back soon for another exciting journey into the world of sport.